Okay, submit Roberto. Hello. Please tell him you can hear me.
Hey,
Hello?
Lucas.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
You
Can you
can?
hear me? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm actually just going to toggle to a different phone anyway. Is this, I hope this is a bit better now.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, great, because I've been experimenting with the condenser mic here. And
How's that going?
yeah, Zoom keeps turning the volume down. So sometimes the device isn't running, other times the volume is down. Nice to
Yeah.
see you, by the way.
Nice to see you too. How are you doing?
All good, all good. Yeah, running around between stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so uh, I'm sorry for maybe I didn't forewarn you, but I'm usually record these sessions because I'm trying to make this very like pay it forward, teach the next guy, and spread knowledge. So yeah, I'm just recording it as it runs and
Makes
letting
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's fine.
so can you start by telling us a bit what your plan is and where you're going to get learners and etc.?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I was thinking I'm in the LATAM community. There's a LATAM town hall today. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just an easy in. I was thinking just maybe doing something a little bit more a little quite simple, but a little bit visual, get people
Right,
interested.
right there in the call.
Yeah, yeah, but do like a little flyer, right? And just tell them that I'm looking for 5 people that are interested, so they know it's a limited availability. Do like a Google form, something simple. I
Okay.
don't know if it's going to be this one right away. I need to talk to these guys before. I can't really. I don't know if I can just ask. But yeah, I was thinking of something really simple,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to make it very clear that it's
Yeah.
oriented to
Lat
non-developers. What do you think?
Are you usually in the LATAM? I don't think I saw you
No,
there. I
no,
usually
I
go there,
was.
you know.
You are?
Yeah, it's like my 11 or 10 to 1 a.m., but I usually sit in for that. And now I'm really excited because they started having 1 week. They used to do every 2 weeks, I think, and now it's
Yeah.
1 week Portuguese, 1 week Spanish.
Yeah, I
So
saw.
yeah,
Well,
and
I'm
I'm in
doing.
Portugal, so I'm from Portugal.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen. I've seen them on YouTube, but I haven't been to the town halls.
Okay,
But yeah, I was thinking maybe there, or even maybe through Sebastian, which I talked in the chat, because I know there
Sebastian
must have been
Pavon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know there must be Emurgo learners, or not Emurgo, but people that are interested in learning. But I think we're like what do you call it? We have a word in Spanish which is like preparing to, right? That this
Yo
is
te comprendo en español un poquito.
entiendo español, pero no, es un propedéutico es la clase que tomas
Ok,
cuando no estás en medicina y tienes que nivelarte.
ok.
Usas un propedéutico, no me acuerdo, pero es una clase que te nivela para
Ujú.
los demás. Yo entiendo este curso como un onboarding
Yeah.
a herramientas como Game Changer, Eternal, billeteras, ¿verdad?
Ujú.
El objetivo es como que hacer que la gente pueda hacer las mismas cosas que hace un developer, tal vez como nosotros estamos tratando de hacer en Cardano, pero hacerlo a través de un frontend, ¿no? Puede
Ujú.
ser una billetera, puede hacer staking, puede hacer NFTs y tokens, todo eso se puede hacer en el
I think
frontend.
a bit of everything, and especially what I'm trying to do. The reason why I'm trying to keep these groups very small is to be able to get to the class, get to the session every day, and say, "What do you guys? What have you been up to? What are you going to want to go over today?"
Yeah.
You know. And because, for example, Huan Xing, we just had a session a few sessions back. He was pending towards the DAOs, so he's curious about that. So we can go over a bit like bounty and escrows or something like that. And the goal here, because there's already so many resources of watch this YouTube, read this document, etc.
Mm-hmm.
We, instead of rewriting all that, basically, if we focus on holding hands with people and teaching them, it's the biggest service we can provide, because you know any person has its own questions, and so.
So what is the need that you think what is the need that people are trying to fulfill? What is this is something that I wanted to ask you about. Have you talked to the guys? I know that there's a couple of that started right from the beginning and kind of people, I don't know if they went to the end, but what is it what is it that they were looking for? What did they take out of the course?
The learners for this cohort?
Yeah.
Well, first thing is I'm not even calling it a course in terms of planning it forward. I don't know how long it's going to run for, who's going to join, who's going to leave. Maybe we even keep this group. I was thinking about this morning. Maybe we keep this group as a week. The main thing about weekly things is the people's availability and interest or curiosity. As long as people have availability for that time slot and they have things to keep coming over and discussing with us, it's very easy to keep it running. And so maybe we can keep this group. But for example, I was mentioning to them this morning where you can come over one session and talk to us about something that you've developed further, or we can go over and take a look at some other session. For example, I'm trying to make happen something in Portuguese. I don't want to lead it myself because it would be fun to just hand over things, but I'm going to sit in from time to time. So yeah, the thing for these guys was these two specific learners that I have, around which some others have started orbiting and coming in and out. But these two core founders of the initiative, they were just non-technical, administrative people in a community called Cardanox, which is the Oxford Cardano community that's being pushed or promoted by an initiative they have there called Directed, which is sort of scholarships for Africa, crowdsourcing funds for those. So these two people, Lucy and Huanxing, are helping with because they are really paying their Cardanox learners to attend Gimbal Labs Plutus PBL. They're subsidizing that. And so these two people were having the need to work with the wallets and do the subsidies to the learners every month or something, but they didn't know anything about crypto. So that's why maybe they started reaching out. And we have there as a session 0 where we discussed it a bit. And it's weird. So just in terms of broadening the scope a bit to your question, is like, I'm still the guy that like I'm in crypto for 18 months, going to 2 years now. And after 3 months, I recorded a video. I put together like a number of notes on a Google Doc. I recorded a video to my friends around what is crypto. And at that point, for me, I was talking to them about, okay, there's the halving, there's Bitcoin, you invest every 4 years, etc. Now I'm really steering away from that. Even in other groups and communities that I'm facilitating things, I start by showing them Web3. Web3 is what matters. Like the speculative side or even the hold side, it's not that interesting, because what matters is like it's tokens in your wallet, it's a little balance that you send back and forth. And if it's testnet, it's just for peanuts. You can be playing cards or something. But if it's mainnet, a bit more serious. And now we're probably going to transition. We're transitioning to a point of looking at NFT marketplaces, getting airdrops with things. And I was just explaining to a friend, I invested my first NFT. So this has to do a lot with my personal growth. So I'm 1 or 2 steps ahead of them, because I bought some NFTs. I'm investing in some things, but I'm really, really trying to put the focus on Web3.
Yeah.
Okay. So even the supermarket points eventually are going to be crypto tokens. We have CBDCs coming soon. Europe is, the Portuguese bank was just publishing something about digital euro is coming. This is the real coin. Bitcoin is just, it's no good. We are good. So it's important that they have that literacy about what's coming over, what's coming down the pipeline.
So what would you say is the goal, or what? Okay, so in the long term or in the midterm, what are you thinking this will become? What are you hoping, or what is the end goal with this initiative that you're doing?
Okay, so let me just share my screen, and while we're here, because otherwise we're burning time and we don't get to the actual document. I'm gonna share my main screen. I was just working now on publishing the video from this morning, and just out of curiosity before I close it. So all I do, apart from preparing things, is I publish it on my personal YouTube. I was doing here the timestamps while I was revising it and doing the timestamps. Then I'm going to just press send, and that's it. So I try to keep it very practical and not spend much time on it apart from the sessions. As you've seen on our YouTubes, we work with different identity here for non-technicals, where they can have just this profile for their playthings, and that's it. And coming to my Miro board, probably you took a look as well. We're trying to mature here the roadmap of things we want to go over. So different contents vertically and different teaching methods or dynamics here, activities. But if we scroll down, what I was dropping in here now is a bit this type of thing. So to your question of what's my expectation, etc., I'm really basically thinking that if we mature practices a bit, especially we can the same way we're teaching crypto to learners that just want to learn crypto. I was just starting to challenge them a bit for them to become teachers, become facilitators, let's say. Okay, so out of this cohort, Lucy and Huanxing are from China, I'm pretty sure. And so if they want to teach a course in Chinese to their friends, that would be great, because we get a way of translating our resources a bit. Not that I'm caring about producing resources, but because of anyone else on their side, on their language, that wants to start a spin-off. Or for example, just this morning, someone was asking on Reddit, what is the best wallet to do staking, just to do staking. And I sent them session number 4, where we literally create an eternal wallet, go over the staking, what's Web3, and how do you select staking pool and apply. So this type of spreading out content. And obviously you're going to run it as long as you keep this method of recording your own session and sharing it with the minimum metadata, let's say. So like I'm doing here, just too many windows, sorry. So my concern now is almost a bit like SEO, you know, but it's like, it's egoistic and altruistic at the same time. So I want this to be fairly documented, and I try to put in the words here so that people can find it. And by finding little, for example, today we were going over the address book. This is just a few minutes in the session, but if this drives people to find this YouTube, and from here they find the link tree and get in touch with us, they may become learners or they may become teachers. And I have a number of projects that I'm trying to do, and I'm 100% just on Cardano and Catalyst. I don't have a day job because I want to, on those communities where I'm doing more serious work on the financials and on coding and on my own proposals that I want to mature. Those need to be financially sustainable. This one, we may have a wallet where people can donate to, but then it's going to be sort of, like I said, between being egotistical or altruistic and being completely for free, or being a pyramid scheme where you teach 5 and those 5 are going to be 5 and etc. It's going to be something in the middle. Yeah, right. So eventually, if this matures a lot, we could have a portal, we could make smart contracts so that I have a token, I taught you, and when you contribute, the tool knows that it's going to credit me with a bit of your income, of your contribution, but then maybe one level above. But it's, before we get to that, it's no point in developing. I can't develop that for now. And as you can see there, we're really very, very early days. And what matters is that people network and that we bring awareness to things. So this was my first, I was just trying to get a template here where I taught the guys from Cardanox and Gimbal Labs PBL, because Sebastian has been coming over. Again, as a teacher that wants to see a different approach, Sebastian was coming over, and he took this to the Eastern town hall, but only partially, because he used some of my sessions as a warm-up for those guys that want to learn development, but then they learn for a few sessions to learn that. So yeah, we have Juan as well coming over from time to time. Nishan was a guy that initially signed up for PBL, but then said, I'm still not ready to be a developer, so I'm just going to learn this for a bit. Yeah, so this is a very summarized description of what we've been doing so far. Here we have our link tree and our YouTube playlist. And this is a cohort. So now, ideally, for example, Paul is someone that approached me via networking people from Gimbal Labs as well. Someone referred Paul to me. I had a session with him, which is linked here if you want to take a look at it. And I'm probably going to do the same with yours there. And so Paul is explaining that he has learners in Congo Kinshasa. They speak French. He's going to inspire from my Google Doc and try to do, I told him literally just copy the document, the parts that are useful, zero the sessions, and just check on our sessions and write yours as you go in French. And yeah, the thing here, for example, is that they don't have internet at home, nor intermittent almost. So it's really just going to be a play thing where they go on the room that day once a week and experiment with it. Okay. Then I've been trying to reach out to a number of friends that I've networked with. So this person is Spanish. She is someone that I met on the European community presentations of projects, like proposal presentations. And I challenged her because I think she would be really good person to present, because she's not technical, but she's all on this. She's like she has her own proposals and everything.
Okay.
So she knows crypto, but not as a developer.
Right.
This is you. I don't know if you're planning, because you told me that you're translating something or not.
Yeah. Oh, so I've seen all the videos. That's what I caught up during the weekend. So I was looking at the talk you had with Paul, and I thought the easiest way to start is just translating. So I literally just that's why I was commenting on the document. I thought I'd like a local one, and that was notes for myself for my own documentation. It's kind of how I wanted to do it. And so I started doing just literal translation, just changing a little bit the formatting to my own preference. And that was my questions was pretty much. I just wanted to see what the scope and what the objectives were, and kind of what the audience was saying, because I wanted to see how first of all how broad what was and how much of freedom I had to do it my own way.
It's literally it's your time, your investment of time and etc. And you can even spin this off and go build your training company. I don't have a say on that. So this is open source training, if you want to say. It's like a concept of pay it forward, teach the next guy, and a little more until we get more organized. And like I said, I'm working on 5 or 6 projects. This is just something that I like putting a few hours into, because I take joy in sharing it and facilitating this. Also, on my project, for example, I have one that has to do with NFTs as tattoos. So all this community that I'm trying to build, I'm going to need to teach them, so I can make a cohort with those guys and rerun these practices with my tattoo shops, with my tattooees people, and all that. So it's a resource. It's a practice for us as moderators as well. So, but you would be thinking of doing a cohort in Spanish then?
I think that would be the most useful, because English and everything, there's already stuff. I don't want to repeat any.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear that, because I've been challenging Marcella. Maybe she can attend or keep an eye on yours, and eventually, because it's so small teams that you can just get them from your
the more
from your personal circle. So here you will get learners mostly from the LATAM community.
I'll see there. Yeah, I'll see Reddit maybe. And I don't know. I haven't been in touch with people back in Guatemala, but there's a big community there, and I haven't seen them anywhere in Cardano. So I might try to reach out to folks at Guatemala.
Okay. And you're currently living where? Just out of curiosity.
Sacramento. States.
Sacramento. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So what I really recommend in a nutshell is, like you said, I would duplicate the session note documents that we're using. I don't have it open anymore, but you've seen it extensively. So it's all in the link tree, basically. So as long as you have a Google account for your Zoom, I usually log into Zoom with my Google account, which interlaces with my agenda. And then from there, I can share things. And then you have the YouTube in there as well. I made the link tree. I think it facilitates a lot for people and for sharing things. What I also did was a WhatsApp group. So I really recommend that you do that, because I'm happy to start a channel for Cardano for Non-Techs in Spanish in our Discord.
Oh,
So if you want to do that, I'm happy to host it there, and especially because it's so close to us, obviously.
Yeah.
So what we've been doing, you surely took a look around as well. So we have this one, which is more for the learners, and now I started this one more for challenging teachers and to mentor other teachers. So we have
Yeah.
just Paul here. Can you see this one already? I'm pretty sure you can.
Cardano
No?
non-tech. Let me check. Let me check. I think I
Yeah.
can. Internal project board. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
gave me.
Yeah.
But I only have one channel,
Yeah.
internal
Yeah.
project board.
Ada Inc. is the tattoo ones, which where
Ah,
you're
okay.
not in there for now. But
Okay.
maybe one day, maybe soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the other one. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm happy to start one here, Cardano for non-tax SP, for example,
Yeah.
and
Perfect.
or it depends. It's up to you. For now, let's leave it open. And if you find many learners that want to do it in Spanish, we'll do a separate one just to not to confuse so much in here.
Yeah.
But I think I even literally said it when I was in here that this was going to be a multilingual project. Pretty sure I did. So
I think even the server has things in Portuguese and English.
exactly,
Kind of
exactly. This is
understandable.
a server that I started with some local Portuguese friends. A lot of back history of this is in Portuguese.
Lucas,
Okay.
let me ask you something that is a little bit maybe off topic, but what about like branding? I understand like this is a spin-off of Gimbal Apps, but in terms of like resources that we're producing, I saw that you created like a little Oompa Loompa thing that you have on the server. I thought that was
Yeah,
really
it's a mix of overlapping communities and stuff. The Oompa Loompas is generic. The concept, as I explained on the welcome page, Oompa Loompas is just a multi cross-chain news and just me pasting links in here. So it's literally just this. And this is a community that I have on WhatsApp, where we have around 50 to 60 traders and speculators and all that.
I'm
So
just
some of them came over here.
yeah.
Go for it.
I'm just thinking about because I'm trying to create resources and I'm just thinking about I try to create branding so they can associate it with where is this coming from, right? When they post it, when we post it,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm just using thinking of using of logos and names. I don't know if like Gimbal
Yeah.
Apps, is it okay if I use
Yeah.
a logo?
The
Is it
thing
okay
is,
if I
you're already on a stage of promotion. Like I think you texted me, and I said for now I'm not at that level of let's
okay?
try to send this to the world.
Yeah,
But if we were to go ahead, for example, yeah, I haven't started Discord servers for anything else, but I did start the WhatsApp group.
yeah.
And on the WhatsApp group for now, there's no references to the Oompa Loompas because Oompa Loompas is just hosting. Um, yeah, I don't know where I have the WhatsApp now. I have it closed. Let me just show it to you in a sec. So for now, I would host it there in the Oompa Loompa server. If you
Yeah.
start planning to have it in Spanish, we can consider instead of opening a second channel, we can start considering having a server on the side. I don't want
Yeah.
to detach from your strategy. So if you want to help doing the branding and all that, I'm on board with that. I want to,
Yeah, just to identify the initiative so people can just to kind of refer to the course as I understand right now it's Cardano for non-text, right? So maybe have a
yeah,
logo and give it a name and people can sort of create a
give it
community.
give it a specific name instead of Cardano for non-sex.
I think I was thinking maybe Cardano for non-devs or non-text is fine.
Yeah,
That's kind of very
I
explain.
noticed the other day James was using Cardano for non-devs instead of
I
non-techs.
thought yeah, because
It's
I'm non I think I was thinking about me, right? Because I was thinking who's the user
yeah,
who wants this course, right? And I was thinking, yeah, I have a bunch of friends that might be interested in making NFTs, but they're not devs, so they're not going to be interested in the Cardano CLI. So yeah, okay, how do
yeah.
you use Cardano if you're not a developer, right?
The thing is, I literally got it from the word of mouth, and people keep referring to, oh, I don't want to get into that because I'm not technical. And so
Oh, okay,
people usually say, oh, I'm not technical, so I don't want to learn that, or I don't complicate it for me. You
okay.
rarely hear someone saying, I don't want to get into that because I'm not a dev. So I thought it was more common phrasing, but yeah, it's like
It can be either.
let's I would say for now let's leave it running, and
Yeah.
then when we grow a bit better, a bit bigger, we can iterate on that.
Okay.
But also, if you do it in Spanish, you can use Cardano for how would you say it in Spanish?
Cardano para no, and that's the
Pa-
other thing. It doesn't
yeah.
really translate. Cardano para no técnicos.
Entonces, ¿cómo lo dirías en español corriente con tus amigos? Estoy preparando un curso para,
Para no desarrollar, es
para
para
las personas
Cardano
normales.
para gente
Mira,
común, Cardano para
hoje à noite, the problem with me is like when I try to speak Spanish, although it's my neighbor country here,
yeah.
I either go to Portuguese or I go to French. And now I was going to Portuguese. In this you're gonna find in the Latin America calls, because now we have the Portuguese. I was there for months just listening to Spanish, and now we're starting to have the possibility to speak Portuguese there. So, se eu falar português, vais perceber muito pouco.
Eu falo
Pouco.
pouquinho de português. I went to Brazil and
Yeah.
I had no idea, but you have to, you kind of have to. I thought it was going to be really easy, but
yeah, and o português de Portugal é mais seco.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm
So anyway, tonight I would challenge you to go introduce the initiative without branding it, and then ask Juanita, ask Alejandro, Peschenker, ask the guys, what would you want to call it in Spanish? And I'm good with anything. As you see, it's like, don't worry. Maybe you can start that, and we'll continue to collaborate on the image, on the branding, or anything.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
Overall, anything you want to discuss for now?
See, I had a couple of questions maybe.
So
it's just pretty much onboarding onto Web3, kind of informal, casual thing, just kind of trying it out. It's pretty much like a pilot testing of the
one thing that I was telling the guys, and that's maybe why I would prefer to keep it in the scope of, you can still see my screen,
yeah.
I was just pointing out to the guys today, the learners, that although I'm sharing here, for example, the other day Huang Xing teased me about DAOs, so I came in here and I dropped a number of links about DAOs for him. But today I was pointing out there is an article, very interesting one, that I dropped on the Web3 side, which I think is the core focus of their scope of use cases. So this PDF that I dropped here is quite interesting for them. And we also made a decision right there on the call to create the DAOs and communities channel here. And that's why this community of share, although it's almost me just sharing things for now, this context of we are curious about all things crypto and Web3, we're dropping links around, and this is hosted close by so that the guys are native. In again, I encourage you to do the WhatsApp channel, because a lot of people are going to be very allergic to Discord. But since they are being forced to have a Discord here, and often I copy my messages from here to WhatsApp, but since they are here, I'm challenging them to keep an eye on everything around. And that's why maybe we can even rebrand this one, for me, for all I care. No one's going to object. So we can rename this one, I mean. Okay. Yeah. So I thought maybe I lost my train of thought a bit, but what I was just pointing out is that it's good that you can refer to these contents is what I mean, although these are mostly in English. And now I remember one where I said that any language goes was basically here, where it's already Portuguese and English. And I don't know.
Well, I can make an intro in Spanish.
Yeah, why not? Okay.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
So we I think one of the concepts that I have here is like tailor the content. The content is the material that we're working. It's plastic, it's transformable, it's mashable together. There's no point in trying to create wireframe for if you don't have content for it. So the content is the object that we're working, and that's why I don't have a roadmap for session 9. I'm just going to come here and workshop a bit, or take a look at these things. I have this dynamic, I didn't point it out to you, but you've seen it here, right? So if you want to start dropping by our sessions, I would love for you to take some of your tokens there, which is a nice word to use them as physical or visual tokens, voting tokens here, and drop them where you want. And So probably for next session, I'm going to come in here. Maybe if I have the Gimbal apps running already, they already have the tokens. And I need to improve this one a bit here. What I would recommend is the same way you're cloning the Google Doc, maybe we could clone this one for you, because it's going to be tricky if your learners are voting here, or I don't know if your learners are going to be savvy enough to come to Miro. We have some situations where people can't access or edit or something like that.
Yeah.
Even myself with the logins sometimes doesn't work, or I need to go around it.
That was a question I have. How are you doing with the cross-browser thing? Because I see that you use Brave and stuff. Are people confused with I use Safari, I use Mozilla?
No. I'm 100% Chrome for now.
Oh, you're Chrome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have, what I do is for a long time, I've always used several identities, profiles.
I saw that.
I have my first one, if you look at it, it's full of tons of favorites and things I have. I have all my accounts there. But then out of this one, I have my mother and my cousin's profiles that I manage. And then I have the non-technical profile. Then because my nick is Skywalker, I have Anakin, who is my learner profile for Plutus PBL. And
I'm doing exactly the same because after seeing your video.
So you can have as many as you need. They only have the extensions you install on that profile. And I hope that none of the persisted data like seed phrases goes across. So theoretically, it's a bit safe. And again, we're just using the testnet here.
Okay.
So
because I do know that Miro boards have problems with Chrome. I think you have to open some in private windows.
If that's what happens with me. Curtis Myers has some knowledge on this. I've been told to ask him, and I'm delaying that because for now my workaround is if I go here, I really distinctly remember that I confused the system a bit because it allowed me to log in with Google once, or I had already logged in with username and password, and then I confused it and I logged in with Google. And now it's in a state where I've tried deleting the cache, or I don't know what's wrong here, but I know that I have a username and password. So if I come here or on that one, I log in with username and password and it's fine.
What I was, for me, it was always hanging. And I apparently it's a problem with Chromium. And I just solved it opening in a private window. Just open a private window.
Yeah, that's how I do it too. So one thing to say about Miro as well, if you, for example, go in, you create your workspace, that's going to give you only three free boards. I run sites, I have email aliases and everything. So I already have 2 accounts with different emails. But so you may get to that point. And also about sharing the board, there's two ways of sharing it. If you share it one way, it's just a read-only link. But if you really want to share it, read and write, you need to get an invitation to edit. And that's this kind of link where it says, welcome on board. It's a longer link. And this allows you to go in and we'll invite the person, if they don't have an account, to create an account and to join to your workspace. So what we end up with is this type of situation where I created geral@pedrolucas.net, my email with this one. But if I log out of geral@pedrolucas, I can go in with my personal email. Should be here somewhere. Right. They're actually, I'm memorizing them on my personal identity browser. This is something tricky about multiple profiles, is that now I'm on this one. If I do private browser, I'm still in the context of that one in terms of memorized passwords. Okay. It's a bit tricky. I'm in the incognito window, but I derived it from that one. And that's why I'm not finding my Lucas at Petrolucas here, because this is Adelina profile. So I need to come here, get a private browser out of my main one where I have my passwords memorized. And now I come there. This is not Cardano for tech. This is Miro for technical. It's a bit tricky.
You need a password manager. That's what
yeah, a friend of mine is a counter hacker. He keeps telling me that. I just use Chrome. Yeah, it's all memorized in my profile, synchronized. Yeah.
Well,
What's happening here? Okay, so there's another thing tricky now. Now I logged in with Lucas at Pedro Lucas, which is my main account, where I created this workspace. So this is the native workspace of this email account, and Cardano Misc is the native workspace where Geral is the host. And that's the thing. What Myra does is, for example, once I went to Yuli's board, and because she shared it with a share workspace thing, I got on board on her Myra. I'm not sure if she's aware that I can see all her 3 boards, but this is how it works. You're not sharing the board, you're sharing your workspace. And then if you have multiple email accounts, you have 2 workspaces for your 2 emails. And for now, yeah, this is how we are. So I'm happy to share, to create a board for you here and share it, or let me know how you want to go about it.
Yeah, I think I have access. Let me just let me just check it out, and maybe I'll write a note in our
we'll keep in touch.
if I'm ready for. Could you create a board for me or something?
Okay. So let me know if you need anything at all. We'll keep in touch. We're gonna jump into the Plutus now, right?
Yeah. I'll let you go. I'll let you know how it goes today in the meeting.
I'll be there.
Oh, okay. So
I'm very curious to see how it goes.
Me too.
Okay. See you, mate. All the best.
Good talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.